I'd just like to have a conversation with you guys
Mhm.
and get an understanding of your experiences with Truck Parking Club, good, bad, and otherwise.
Yeah.
Um, I know we've heard, um, I know I have heard from Tracy a lot about you all. Um, and, appreciate you guys working with Truck Parking Club. I know you haven't ever met, but I definitely have had conversations with you guys about you guys working with us through Tracy. So it's cool to finally talk with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just curious about one thing. What had you started this truck parking club? I mean, what encouraged you to do this truck parking club? I know the interview's based on, I know you want to talk to us, but
No, this is
as you did,
no,
literally.
this is awesome. No, that let's just have a conversation.
Oh,
That sounds great. And whatever comes out of it is fine. So I started Truck Parking Club. My background is in real estate. And back a couple of years ago, I was doing a real estate deal and it was zoned industrial. And I had heard that there was a huge demand for truck parking. And my thought on that piece of property was, I'm going to make more truck parking. And then that municipality told me that they weren't going to allow truck parking at that location, even though it was a perfect spot for it. And then that kind of led me down a path of understanding what's going on with truck parking here. Why is there a shortage? Why isn't it being built fast enough? And through those conversations and relationships, ended up starting Truck Parking Club. Um, so just a journey of having conversations and understanding what was needed in the market. I don't have a story of I'm a former trucker or anything like that, even though we've hired several former truckers at this point
okay.
to work on the team. But that's not my background. My background is real estate and some technology.
No, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because truck parking have always been the issue with the regulations, and it seems like uh, no one likes trucks. And wherever
Yeah.
it's just a nightmare to park. I've been in trucking. Me and my wife both been in trucking for over 40 years combined
Wow.
together. So we've been
Yeah.
doing this for a while, and we have seen so many different trends, you know. But one of the things that have never been dealt with is the truck driver parking in a place where they can be safe. I mean, you got some rest areas, and just yesterday, we drove past the rest area. They had it all kicked off. Police, and then they putting somebody, you know, in a bag. I hate to say that, but but this is the issues that we are dealing with as far as us being safe out here on the road. So, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I think there's a small delay
Okay.
between.
Yeah, but yeah, there has always been an issue as far as us being safe. So basically, this truck parking club is something that's really needed in the industry for a safety issue for the trucks, for vandalism, for our personal safety. So hat off because this is something that me and my wife were looking for years. I mean, we literally wanted to start a truck parking, uh, type of network, or yeah, just but being able to have a place to park the truck. But uh, we just haven't had the time to really get involved with doing that. So but this is
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Yeah, you know, what you hit on, you mentioned you wanted to go, do it yourself because it's like, well, let's just get a network together of people and locations to where we can feel good about traveling across the US and know we have a space to park. And that's kind of that is the what we really built Truck Parking Club around is let's be the company that brings the networks together, whether it's, a trucking company with extra space in their yard, or it's an empty lot to drop a trailer, or it's a high security facility, bringing that entire network onto one platform where people can feel good about going on Truck Parking Club website or app and booking it in real time and getting the parking that they need as an over the road driver or even a driver that is needing parking, longer term parking in a specific location.
Right. Well, that's it's something that's way overdue and needed. So I'm just glad that uh, it's developed. It's developing. Because it's. I mean, man, it's wow. How will you put it? Chaotic out there, babe? For us finding parking, it's chaotic.
It is, especially for because I'm the night driver. I was, of course, we drive teams, so it's harder for me to find a spot at night when I need to take a break if I get sleepy or anything like that. And of course, as me being a woman, based on safety, of course, for men as well, but just being able to be safe, and park in a area that you don't have a bunch of activity around. And I know just recently I had, because periodically I do talk to Tracy, and I'll ask her, hey, what about this area? We're going because we go out in California a lot. We need to find a spot. There's a spot out there we can park. And she'll normally look. So your customer service is awesome.
Thank you.
And then we uh, was out there recently looking, because a lot of the dealerships, um, I know the ones that we have a Freightliner. So dealing with Freightliners, some of the places that we go into, you can't drop the trailer there, So I contacted um, your company to see if there was a spot that I wasn't seeing on the app. Of course, at that particular time, I couldn't really find anything, but the place that I ended up finding, I told them about you guys. I said, hey, you might want to join this network, because since this is a kind of like a new thing that you guys are doing, I'm trying to tell as many people as I can, that I come across and let them know, so.
Yeah, re really, really appreciate you when you speak with other property owners about looking into maybe adding their location because every location just gives us the opportunity to expand the network and give more truck parking opportunities for all of our trucker members using the app. So every single location goes a long, long way. And yeah, we're still newer. I mean, we're a year in on this, and we have 150 locations, or maybe 149 locations right now. But we add new locations every single day, and it's because of people getting the word out there, and talking with people and saying, mentioning Truck Parking Club. So we really appreciate that. And I want to hit on something. You mentioned Tracy. So Tracy is amazing. She runs our really, we call it a customer care side. Um, and she's a former trucker. We have two other ladies that are in that department, one of which is a former trucker, and the other was a dispatcher for 15 years. So we build out that side of the company, keeping in mind that we want people to, when someone calls in to customer care, that they're speaking with someone that understands, um, the difficulties of finding a place to park all across the US and understands that scenarios can get tense trying to find parking. We have people calling all the time. They're like, my hours of service is running low, and I gotta find somewhere. And we do everything we can to accommodate that, and Tracy's a huge part of that. So how has your experience been, working with Tracy? And I know you've booked at um, some of our locations. You want to just talk about that and talk about your experiences with that?
Yeah, definitely. Tracy, she's awesome. It was a location that we were, when we come home, we normally, stay at one particular, one in the Orangeburg, and they had closed down that facility because I guess he didn't have enough business. But she was able to quickly, she said, "Hey, I have bad news that they're closing, but I found another location that's nearby." So we can, so she took me through the process of actually canceling the other contract that we had. And then we ended up, with the new place that we're at now. And, she really helped us out with that.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I know Truck Parking Club is very fortunate to have her on the team. Because she's such a great advocate for truckers, and I know a lot of decisions that are made within the company is because of input that she gets from everyone she talks to every day, and everyone on that customer care team talks to every single day, and that helps us move the company in the right directions and make the right decisions on doing the things that, for us, it's like, how can we provide as much value as possible to truckers that are needing to find parking, and how do we do that, and make it better and better.
Mhm.
Well, y'all definitely improving,
Mhm.
based on the locations. Some of the locations um, that we have experienced, I like the idea it's out of the beaten path. And
Yeah.
so like where we are right now, it's out of the beaten path. It's I don't have to really worry about of the truck, especially if we have a load on it and we have to worry about, I had to keep going back and checking on it, and I don't have to worry about that. It's some of it's really uh mind relieving knowing that some of the places that we go to or we have gone to with y'all guys, it's just been nothing but A1. And then even if it's in certain places where there is a lot of high traffic, you have fencing, you have cameras. I mean, they ready to roll. So you just don't know how appreciative that we as a truck driver really love that.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead. It's gated. A lot of some of the facilities are gated, as well as you have to have a combination to go in. So basically, the only people that's going in there is the people that actually is looking, have signed up with you guys. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
no, I mean, fine. So
um
we literally are enjoying the truck park club. I gotta get one of those hats from you, man.
that absolutely. I'm gonna make a note of that right now. We gotta send those out to you early next week. We can get you some shirts and hats.
Man, I appreciate that.
It's pretty amazing, these shirts and hats. I have some family in Kentucky, and some of the people that work on the team is in Kentucky, and we go to shows all across the U.S. Iowa 80, Kinley 95, 75 Chrome Shop Show, Mid America Trucking Show, and we'll hand out shirts and hats and phone chargers and stuff like that. And um, I had some family in like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and like it's a touristy spot, and I think my uncle was wearing one of our shirts, and someone was like, I know those guys, because we go to the shows, me and my team, and they're like, I know those guys. I met them. And it's like crazy how, how the world works and how like the word gets out there and word spreads. I think there was someone that mentioned the same thing happened to them in like Las Vegas or something. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see as the word grows. And I want to say I'm very, very thankful for people like you all that, I'm sure the first time you used us, you hadn't heard much and, you gave it a shot and you were open-minded to it. And, um, you know, I'm glad that we could deliver for you guys a good experience, and we want to continue delivering a good experience for you all and all of our members on our platform as we continue to grow. Um, what I would like to ask a harder question where I'd like to understand, what do you think we can improve? What do you think we can make better? What have you seen that you're like, that I didn't like the way that was, or this is a little bad process or clunky or whatever?
I really can't say too much. You know, nothing really where I can see you can improve right now. I guess because of the fact that you're still working the kinks out. I've been able to get on the phone and speak with, customer service, whether it be Tracy or I believe Jennifer. So I haven't
Jenny,
had,
yeah.
yeah, I haven't had any issues there. Far as, I guess the improvement, is just, of course, since you're new, just getting the word out more to be able to to have more parking spots. Um, but again, I can't really say anything bad about that. I mean, the guys are awesome,
Mm.
and we love the service that you guys provide.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. I think I would just like to say, if you ever do see anything that you think we can improve, please tell myself or Tracy. I know you guys are close with Tracy. Just let her know. Hey, we didn't like this. This seemed a little weird. We didn't like the way this went, or I think you guys could improve this. And I can assure you, as far as locations, we're working very, very hard to find more truck parking and add more truck parking. Did you guys see we rolled out last week the free rest stop availability in real time from the app? Did you guys
I
see
did
that?
I did see that. I haven't looked at it to see what the feature was, but I did see that information come across. I did see that.
Yeah. So from the app, 143 rest stop locations. On the road signs on the side of the interstate, they'll say 15 spaces available at this rest stop 5 miles ahead. So now you can see that from the app from anywhere in the US.
Awesome.
So you can view the availability just like you would a road sign, except you can just see it from the app.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, it's just a completely free service that we integrated into our app to give our members the ability to not have to depend on a road sign. So
Hmm.
if you're an hour out, you can kind of gauge on, there's no availability now, there's not going to be in an hour, so we need to plan accordingly, right? Or there's plenty of availability, we're going to be fine. Just giving that extra convenience um, to truckers, we thought was important. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it's just a value that an additional value concerning truck parking, that we think truckers should have easy availability to see that parking at rest stops and not just have to depend on road signs.
Well, that's great. That's a great feature. Something else too that uh you want to also think about doing. I don't know, is connecting to like Google Earth. So, if, for an example, if we know that since we travel out California so much, and we know where we're going, you know, um, we can look on Google Earth and say, okay, we're going this path. Okay, let me see how it looks. within the general area. Let me take a snapshot of what I'm dealing with. If I'm going to deal with a highly public area with a lot of homes, or is this going to be completely industrial, or
Mm.
what the case may be. So Google Earth, it gives them the idea to actually look at the truck parking facility to see how things are situated and located, so they already know what they had to deal with before they get there. So that might be another feature y'all might be thinking about putting that, adding that, to your truck parking, because normally with Google Earth you can see the view on top and see what's
Yeah.
right. So I don't know if y'all can do that in real time or what, but that would be an awesome feature if you can do that. So
Yeah. Gives the area of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
So
know,
we have that. We do have that. It's just it's not obvious enough. So we have satellite view
okay,
on right on the app. We don't have street view,
okay.
but we do have satellite view. So if you pull up the app, you'll see you just click satellite on the map. We added that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we made a few updates in the last few
You
weeks
see,
here.
it's like really three important things that the driver needs when they before they park. A place, they want to know where they can eat, where they can shower, and of course, based on the parking. There's three very important things, because when we go to shut down for the night, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes I am starving. I'm looking for a place where I can eat or whatever. So before I get the truck parking, if I know there's a restaurant nearby that I can go after dropping the trailer or whatever, it literally prepares, preparation. So it normally prepares me of what I need to do for when I get there, if I need to get food before I there, or I can walk to a restaurant or something to eat or whatever. So the more preparation or the more we know before we get to the truck parking is very vital to us. It's just like
Yeah.
when we go to make a delivery. We just had one, and they couldn't even tell us that they had overnight parking available for us. I said, wow, okay. We didn't know what we was getting into or what the surrounding was. So, and we had to go into the heart of Miami, which isn't really truck friendly.
Uh,
So,
yeah.
we had to, you know, try to figure things out. But the more we know before we get there, based on the area that we're gonna be parked for a little bit, the better off we are, and then we can feel safer, or we'll know what to do or how to handle certain things. That's just my little tidbit to you guys.
Yeah, I'm taking notes here. That's very helpful. So since we integrated the Google Maps now and we have the satellite view, what we can actually do, and we haven't done it yet because I wanted to talk with members just like you. We can actually add all surrounding restaurants. Um, just it's really just a couple clicks of buttons. But one of the things we think about is simplicity. So we don't want to just go in and add everything, right? So,
Right, right.
but restaurants sounds like a great one that should be on our map that you can easily see when you scroll into one of our locations where are the closest restaurants, what's within walking distance, where can I get a shower, that's awesome information that will help us make that decision easier because as you know on Google Maps they have a million things.
Right.
So we've been careful not to add too much because then we'll have too much stuff, but it'll get distracting. But that I definitely think restaurants is something we'll add in that you'll just be able to see directly on the map.
Okay.
Um, I think that, yeah, that I appreciate you bringing that up because that's something that's been on our our list of what are we going to add to the map that actually brings convenience, not having a million different things. Because if you scroll into a Google map, you zoom in, you're going to see a little bit of everything. Um, so we want to make sure whatever we add is useful, and not just making a clutter. Um, what do you think about, we don't have routing. I'm sure you know, right? How
Mhm.
useful is routing to you all in app, or is it you depend on another GPS, or how do you guys operate?
Well, routing would be good because I mean I know there's other apps that's out here. We use a trucker's GPS, but recently, what happened with us is our GPS needs to be updated, and because I wasn't at a high speed, where I could be at a location that had high speed, a lot of truck stops. They don't have their connection is poor. So I couldn't update our GPS until I actually got home because the file was so large to update. So that would be good because using, whether it be Google Maps or whether it be, what's the other one, MapQuest or anything like that, that's not for trucks. So that can lead us down streets and things
Yeah.
that we don't belong. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what we would do, we use Google as a map, but we wouldn't use their routing. We
Yeah,
would use
that's
trucker routing.
yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I was just sitting up there. I was just thinking about certain things. You know, see, also, truck parking is uh, if you have some of the conveniences that that the driver needs at the truck parking, um, that would be good as well. That's just some of the conveniences, and I'll just give you one. Uh, if they're gonna be there for some length of time or whatever, have a access to where they can get a shuttle service, something like that, or whatever. And well, at this particular service, at this particular location, you can call this number for shuttle service if you need to go to Walmart or something like that. It's just an idea, something
Just
down
as
the
a convenience. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
something you
you don't
might
have to waste a lot of time looking for a shuttle service. Right.
right, right. Just something that they may be interested in, doing. It's just to help the driver because I know there's plenty of time. We would just like to park the truck, go to Walmart, do what we need to do, and come back to the truck without even moving that thing. So that's just an idea, something for y'all to think about.
or
Yeah,
I don't,
for
I
sure.
don't know if there's any kind of way it could be integrated in, far as because sometimes I'll use I very seldom use DoorDash, but I might use Instacart to be able to have groceries or item supplies come to me. So I don't know if uh, Instacart or Grubhub, that's the other one. If it's any kind of way that restaurants that I don't know, I guess that's within that network can be integrated in that.
Yeah, it's definitely something we should look into.
Mhm.
Wonder how that would work. I'll have to talk with our tech team and see how we would do that. I'm sure there's always a way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Um, just depends on how difficult the way is. But that's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that where you could just do it in app. Is there any other things that you can think of that you'd like to see? I mean, we're definitely working on more locations. Is there anything with the app that we could add? I know you've hit. I think definitely adding restaurants to our map is something we can do very quickly, um, to help you all with and help the rest of our members with. And the routing is something that's been on our radar for a while. Is there anything else?
Anything else? No, I would think that not that that would be. I mean, I guess I'll just throw the idea out, based on, if it's a location that has high traffic that comes in and out, maybe it could be where you could hook up with some of the people that might have food trucks that could come in
Yeah.
and provide food. Um,
That's a good idea.
Higher
Yeah. So
traffic location.
we have some of our property members that will do food trucks from time to time. Um, but it's not something that we do a good job of openly advertising. Like, on the listing page, we'll say that there's food or food trucks, but there's not much more information past that. So you kind of have to go digging for it yourself to understand what's going to be there, when is it going to be there, how close is it, do you have to go get it, do you have to walk to it, or something of that nature. Um, I think one thing, really quickly, I know I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. One thing we think about a lot is we did the free rest stop availability, and
Mhm.
now we're thinking about what if we added a lot more free parking locations. Just, you know, it could be anything from, casinos always have free parking, right? Just having all those on a map, possibly hotels, possibly Planet Fitness, some of these things I can think of that are typically very accommodative to free parking, free truck parking. What do you guys think about adding that to our map? Um, do you think that makes sense, or
Oh, most definitely, it does. It really does. It really does. Because sometimes as far as drivers, we out there doing certain things. We may be strapped for cash, but we still need to uh, find a place to park. You
absolutely?
know, and that will get a lot more attention. I'm telling you now,
Mhm.
it will get a lot more
Yeah.
attention. Because there's certain places me and her go to. I said, man, I don't want to pay $30 or $20 or whatever the case may be to park. We just going to be only going to be here for about 5 or 6 hours. So I don't want to have to pay,
Yeah.
that money to park. And then the thing is, uh, it's either pay to park sometime with some of the truckers or eat. So they rather just find a place where it's not safe to park so they can still eat. So that's a awesome, awesome idea of free truck parking that can be integrated.
Yeah, we're looking into it very strongly. I think our concern was like we're known for being the spot where you can reserve and have truck parking. If you need to
Mhm.
drop a trailer, we're a good fit for that. If you need to stay for 10 days, we're a good fit for that. Or if you need to book monthly, we're a good fit. I think our only concern with adding free parking is we kind of lose that identity a little bit to where people quit recognizing that, oh, you can actually go on Truck Parking Club and drop a trailer. You don't, you can do that on the site too. It's not just for free parking, but if you need to drop a trailer for 5 days to do a turnaround, you can do that too. I think our concern is we lose that identity a little bit. So we want people to know it's still there and still available rather than having to search it out. I think that's our concern. What do you all think about that?
Well, when you do free parking, um, what has to be done is you're going to have to set guidelines based on the free parking. And you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to hammer out the guidelines based on because people will really take advantage. Okay, if you want to drop a trailer, if you want to do this, well, it's going to have to cost you. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But free parking is just that if you riding overnight and you just need a place to park for a couple of hours to take a nap or snooze, that's basically what it's for. But for anything else, for long term or whatever the case, I mean, you just got to set the guidelines. Think about the guidelines. Think about what is it that you really want to convey to the drivers based on that, and just go from there. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And uh, for the free parking, we want to do user updated availability. So it's
Okay.
like, hey, it's full, or hey, it's empty.
Hmm.
Hey, you know what I mean? Kind of like Trucker Path does that, right? Where it says, and do that for the free parking spaces, and then maybe also make suggestions if you want to drop a trailer for 3 days, if that's what you're looking for in this area, then here's some other spots you can do it.
Right.
But if
Right.
you just
Right.
need it for an overnight, user ABC is saying there was availability as of 30 minutes ago. That's your best option for overnight, because we don't necessarily compete as much with just overnight as it may seem. We have, I mean, our average booking duration is like 2 or 3 days on
Okay.
average.
Okay.
We gotta have a lot of people that go into Dallas and they need to be there for 3 days. They may need to park their tractor trailer for 3 days, or drop a trailer for 3 days, or something of that nature. So we don't actually compete on overnight as much as um, I would say we're not as much of like a direct competitor of like a truck stop as probably some people would think. Um, it just seems like the niche that we've fallen into. Um,
So even with the niche that you have, you still have certain perimeters that you follow by. Because the niche is creating that perimeter that y'all working with. So that's all I'm saying. It's just that if you go in the free parking, just make sure the perimeters are set that they can understand. Okay, if you parking here for overnight, that's cool. But if you're going to be there for a couple of days. We have other options because other drivers needs to get in needs the space or needs the availability. I mean, you understand you understand what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Um, I'll give you an example and then we'll close it out. I appreciate your all's time. I don't know if you expected to be on the call this long, but I do really appreciate it. I got my brain's going from your guys' input. The We had a location in Louisville, Kentucky, at a McDonald's that was like 13 spaces, and the property owner reached out, and it was just like this backside of the. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that location. You may be, but it was like the backside of a McDonald's parking lot,
Okay.
and the uh the owner of that McDonald's reached out to us, found out about it somehow, and reached out and said, I'm having to repave the whole backside of this lot. I've been letting trucks do whatever they want on the backside here for years, and now the backside of this lot's kind of ruined, and I'm having to redo the whole thing. And he's like, I want to keep it truck parking if I can, but this is costing me a lot of money to replace. And part of the thing was there would be people that would back in a trailer and leave it for 2 weeks and just leave
Mm.
it there. Um, so there was like no formality to it. So what we did, and I think some truckers didn't like it, and other truckers were like, "There's finally availability at this McDonald's because there never
Right.
was before because half the people were just dropping a trailer because they might have lived somewhere in the area, or it was a good place to leave it for a few days." So we turned it into hourly pay to park only, and now it's just consistent. People do anywhere from 2 to 10 hours, and then they keep going down the road, just like what you guys mentioned. I think it's like $1.50 an hour. So we get a lot of people that'll take an hour break or 2 hour break, use McDonald's, and then go on down the road. And there's pretty much always availability there now, for people to use that location. Whereas before it was a lot more difficult, and it was just being in some instances it was being used as a trailer drop. So we kind of formalized it, and I think some percentage of people got mad about it, and then other percentage of people were like, "I'm glad I can finally use this location because there's parking available." What do you guys think about that?
That's awesome. That's what I mean about setting the guidelines. That's exactly what I'm talking about setting the guidelines. You know, so it gives order and also help protects the property. You know, so it's I mean everything don't have to be charged, but it still have an order to that. So it's I mean that I think that's great.
And
Great.
not only that, it was a way for that owner to be able to bring in some revenue to help, rebuild that parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me, I mean it was deep five figures on having to replace it. And um he's not making a killing now, but he hopefully can be able to take care of some of those expenses in a few years, and then hopefully make up for some in food sales and do
Yeah.
okay on it. Um, the interesting thing he told me was like a lot of guys park or drop a trailer and they never come in the restaurant. They never use the restaurant, and so now it's formalized. I would venture to guess that every single person that pops in there now is like, I want to go in and use the facilities at the McDonald's. I'm gonna book my an hour or two or 10, and I'm gonna get on down the road. I mean, that's what we see from the bookings that we get there. It's typically 10 hours, maybe 11. Some people on occasion do a reset there, but um, yeah, I appreciate your guys' feedback on that. Um, I think there's a little bit of delay, but I really appreciate your all's time. I know we hadn't spoken before today, but I feel like I kind of did know you because Tracy and I talk a lot about what's going on with the customer care side of the company, and your names have definitely been mentioned a few times. So I I want to say I really appreciate what you guys are doing, being open-minded about using Truck Parking Club. Um, and now as we're growing into um, maturing as a company, sticking with us, it really means a lot. It means the world. And we're definitely get you some swag in the mail.
Okay.
Um, and I'll also credit your guys' account with to get a day or two of free parking
Oh,
for
we
doing this. I
appreciate that.
really
Thank
appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um, I'll probably put like 50, $60 credit your account, and then you'll still go through the booking process normally, and but it just won't hit your card. It'll just it'll just go through our payment processor and reduce by the amount that you booked for. Or if I know I think you have a monthly at one of our locations, right? So
you.
let's
Yeah.
say if you don't use it between now and when that one renews, then it will reduce that payment by we'll say $60. So
Okay.
um, yeah, we appreciate this. I know time is valuable, and I appreciate you all taking the time to give me all this very, very important and valuable feedback.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. We truly, you're looking out for the truck driver because a lot of, we get a lot of going through states, you know, whomever, we get a lot of backlash. So someone really looking out for the truck driver, we truly appreciate that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say this thing real quick before we get off. One of the things that really concerns me is these trucks being parked on these off lanes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really happy to see this. I'm seeing police officers getting out their vehicles, knocking on the doors, and the truck drivers are worn out. They are exhausted, and this is it's really helping is becoming a solution to the problem, the problem. So y'all guys, it's y'all amazing, and we appreciate that.
We do.
We really do.
That means the world, you guys saying that, and we're doing our best to add more truck parking and bring more awareness of all kinds of different types of truck parking locations. So it means the world. It really, really does. And let's have you back on in, I don't know, the next 6 months or so. And I think we can be talking about some of the other things we've rolled out since we now spoke. But would love to keep in touch with you all, whether it be over a recorded call or not. Do understand, and I think you understand it. Talking with Tracy, we're very open. We want feedback. We want to hear from you, and so feel free to give Tracy or I a call. I know you guys have my number, so don't worry at all, because it is customers, it's members just like you all that is going to make this company something special that really provides value. So we really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
You too.
You're welcome. You enjoy your day as well.
All right,
Thanks.
bye bye.
Bye-bye.